Did we talk about Bad Blood? What was? Oh, fucking Crown Jewel.
There we go.
Jesus, fucking Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Dude, that's how you can tell.
That's how you know it was a banger.
Welcome to the lower mid-card, where legends rise. Brian and Kyle Driver, the ring's wise guys. Talking smack, breaking backs, no holds barred. On the lower mid-card, the action's avant-garde.
What's going on, everyone? This is the Lower Mid-Card Podcast. I'm Kyle Driver.
And I'm Grind.
We're at the end of year bullshit, and nothing, like, the storylines are starting to drag.
Yep.
Like, nothing's shaking up.
Nope.
They have too much talent.
Yep. Every year.
And too many storylines.
Exactly,
like,
dude.
you have, like, one main storyline and then, like, 20 different sub-storylines.
Yep.
And it's just, like, it is what it is.
It's a weird point in the year because you have the big four events. We're coming up on one of them, but it doesn't feel like a big four anymore because now it feels like there's the big two. You got SummerSlam and WrestleMania. And so Survivor Series has always been known for its, war games style. I think in previous years, they debuted the Elimination Chamber at Survivor Series. It's always been a big four event. But with that being said, it's like you said, the storylines are dragging out. I mean, we are in a weird time in wrestling where this Bloodline storyline has been going on for now 2 Survivor Series. I mean, I have the poster here from Survivor Series War Games when it was the original Bloodline. Like, it's signed by the original Bloodline and whatnot. That was 2 years ago. And what's crazy is I thought that was the best version ever. And I still think probably it can't be topped. But, here we are going into this, and it's going to be, it just doesn't have the same oomph as previous years, even though we've been hyping the story up for a year of the new Bloodline versus the OG Bloodline and Civil War, and it's like they're on their Marvel trajectory, but it's like it's burning faster than they'd like, and it's not as entertaining as they'd like. However, I will say the stuff with Roman and like watching, you're caught up with the Sami Zayn coming back to the Bloodline and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean, that stuff right there is the best thing in wrestling right now.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing.
It's like, whoa, but then here's the crazy thing is like, so they both have 4 men. And so I'll just kind of sum up what you've missed. Is instead of adding Zilla Fatu, which I and everybody else thought that they would eventually add him, which they still might down the line.
Yeah.
They've added Mr. Nipple Slip.
Bronson Reed?
Bronson Reed is the fifth.
Is teaming up with OG Bloodline.
No, the new Bloodline.
Oh, new Bloodline. Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Okay, so they needed a body. Got it.
Yeah, but
okay.
the bummer is he's feuding with Seth Rollins.
So that means that Seth Rollins is going to team up with the fucking Bloodline.
Yeah.
Are you recording?
Yeah, I'm recording.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
like,
we're going.
Okay, good. I was going to say, because like this is going to be fucking like, listen, it writes itself. It's lazy writing, albeit, but like that makes the most sense, right?
It does. It totally does.
And that it's so WWE to do something like that, to where they'll just keep the continuity, because that's exactly what it is. Like, sure, we would want someone new or something that we haven't thought of or whatever, but like it's the easy way. That's the easy way out. So who are you going? Because like the way that you have War Games set up is you have 5v5, right? So you have 4 in both bloodlines.
Yep.
Right. and then you are adding a fifth person. So you need, it's just basic math. Like, who's feuding right now?
Yeah, but
Like-
the bummer is that Zilla in the indie scene is actually doing really, really well, and he's being managed by Booker. He's at Booker T's wrestling school right now.
Sure.
And he's been performing really, really well on the indie scene.
Then let him do that.
Well, what's crazy, but pull him in for the Civil War and then send him to NXT. Like, you don't have to, and inevitably they're gonna probably sign Zilla. Like, it's gonna happen. So, you know, if you're gonna streamline somebody like Solo, and then make him the big bad Thanos of the fucking Marvel WWE universe, then you can do the same thing with Zilla. I just think you're right. This is so WWE in the aspect of lazy writing. And there's ties. There's no ties with Nipple Slip, but there are ties with Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
And for those are wondering why I'm calling Bronson Reed Nipple Slip, is because every time he wears his unitard or whatever it's called, his little wrestling gear
Singlet,
his nipples slip out of his singlet for the first year and a half. Now he's got it under control. I'll admit.
So call him Bronson Reed.
However,
give the man his flowers.
But here's the thing. Here's what you're missing. I should call him. I don't know what to call him, because now he wears a singlet that looks like Bam Bam Bigelow, but there's a problem with it. And listen, you know me. I'm like, okay,
you are just. Yeah,
I am.
All right, I'm ready for this.
Okay, so I was watching the match between Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed this past week, and Bronson Reed is wearing an all black singlet with black flames, but down where his private parts are, on the back, is some form of a design. You might want to Google this, and I'll tell you why. It looks like he shit himself. I'm not even joking. I was convinced he probably did shit himself. It's really bad looking. It goes up his back like a baby. Like a baby had a blowout, bro. Literally just type in Seth Rollins, Bronson Reed, Monday Night Raw, 11/18/24, and you'll find it. And it is, it's some sort of padding, it looks like, but like, and I know this is ridiculous and probably not what our listeners want to listen to, but I have to point it out. Mr. Nipple Slip went from nipple slips to blowout, and it looks like he shit himself. It is, I could not believe how noticeable it was. Like, it's,
you're talking about this red and white.
Nope.
Get up.
No, it's all black.
Oh, I see it.
It's all black, and then right where his ass is on the back, there's some,
it's just a different color black. God damn, dude.
Listen, if
I'm looking at it right now, like,
it looks like he shit himself. That's I swear to God, dude.
Listen, all right, viewers, just take any opinion that Grind has on any like ring attire. Like, take it with a grain of salt.
But do the research for yourself. Okay. Do the research for yourself, dude.
It looks okay. I'll have to go back and watch it because I'm looking at grainy screenshots on fucking Google. So
no, it's like, bad. It's shiny, and it looks like he like wet himself or shit himself. That's what it. And I couldn't stop staring at it the entire time. Other than that, I think he looks great. I feel like he's coming into his own. You know, like, for me, like, obviously cosmetics really play a part, and sometimes like the OG Roman Reigns with the vest and the dog, he's the, what was his whole thing? He's the big dog. I hated that.
Big dog.
I hated that.
Big dog.
With the goatee. I thought that looked fucking terrible. With the contacts, he had contacts, a goatee, and an armored vest. That looks terrible. Like, that doesn't.
I would like to declare for the Royal Rumble match.
Yeah,
I fucking love that
he
fucking
could not,
video so much.
First and foremost, Roman Reigns, they try to put him on this pedestal at a very early point.
And I hated it.
It was bad. Nobody liked it because it wasn't real. It wasn't authentic. It wasn't him, right? I mean, it's the same thing that they did with, Rocky Maivia, where, they try to make him this ultimate good guy, and inevitably, The Rock was a heel to start, and that's what naturally worked. But like some of these characters have to come into their own. Like right now, I truly believe, and this is total segue to the bloodline thing, but you talk about the Wyatt Six. The Wyatt Six had this massive hype around it. The Fiend was one of my favorite characters. Bray Wyatt was one of my favorite guys. So all I wanted was Bo Dallas and the Wyatt Six to succeed. I thought the concept was amazing. I thought the initial, the coming out party for them, where they go to the back and everybody's like dead, basically, was so cool.
That was really cool.
And then after that, man, it's just like kind of fizzled, and more they got away from the masks, and I'm having this really hard time with like Bo Dallas as Uncle Howdy, because I feel like they've nailed the mask, but now they've got him wearing these hair extensions and he can't wrestle in them, and they look shitty, dude. They look so cheesy and just like costume. Like, do you remember when Kevin Nash was he was Oz?
No, I don't remember.
Oh my god. It's like in the 80s they had him dress up as Oz, and he was in like an all green suit with a mask. This is like early Kevin Nash, before Diesel days. They didn't know what to do with him, and it just looked wrong. Like, it looks too costumey. Like anybody could pull it off. And so recently on Monday Night Raw, Bo Dallas cut a vignette, and that promo that he cut, he had it, dude. If you get a chance to look up the screenshot of it, he looks just like Bray. Like, they're like, I guarantee you, they're going, yeah, grow out your mustache. Yeah, grow out your hair. And he's got his hair in front of his face like Bray used to. He's got the mustache that's grown out and it's thick and whatnot. The beard's grown out. And I'm like, please, man, if you're gonna,
wow, he does.
Yeah, he looks just like Bray, dude.
Wow.
And he sounds like Bray. And I'm like, please get rid of the fucking gray hair extensions, man. I don't care if he's black, he's got black hair. I don't care if he's got gray hair. Like, just get rid of the stupid fucking hair extensions. It works for the other guy, the Vulture guy with the blonde hair. It works with him,
Dexter Lumis.
Yeah, but they're short. They're like short dreads that are tied in, kind of a thing, where Uncle Howdy has this really long hair, and it's just not working. It looks too. Yeah. I want them to get past that phase, and this is what happens with me and a lot of wrestlers. It's like, once they finally come into their own, I become like this big fan of them, kind of a thing. And I feel like it's rare that wrestlers initially come into the scene and like hit perfect cosmetics and perfect move set, and sometimes it's the move set too. Like, sometimes it's like a super generic spear, and it's like, dude, come on, can you get away from that? Like, do something different, man. I think that's why for a long time I had a problem with Roman too. It's like Roman just had the spear and the Superman punch, and now he's just kind of, I feel like he's more flexible, he does more stuff. I don't know.
I get it.
Wrestling's we're in a weird month, in a weird point, where they're trying to sell a Survivor Series at the end of the day. And I'll tell you the truth, off the top of my head, I know there's the women's War Games match, which basically has everybody you can name in it. And then there's the men's War Games match, which is basically it's the Bloodline Civil War. I think Cody is facing Kevin Owens off the top of my head.
The only things that are as far as the page goes on, like, what's announced, is the men's War Games match, the women's War Games match, and then Gunther versus Damian Priest,
which nobody cares about. I mean, let's be honest, like, Damian Priest is not going to win that.
No. Even though I think he's more entertaining than Gunther right now. I do like the little, like, psychology thing that they got going on, where, like, Damian's like making him question himself and all that stuff, and it's like, and then you have the Ludwig Kaiser angle a part of that, and so
You know,
I
he
mean,
is dating Tiffany Stratton.
Stratton.
Yeah,
Good
I
for
was
him.
like, wow, yeah, that's
Good
crazy.
for him. Good for him. Dude's
yeah.
got great bone structure.
He's got a great jawline.
Dude's he does, man. Literally.
Oh man, he's got a great haircut.
Like if he does, if he puts a little size on, I think
Yeah.
I you know, I mean that's whatever. But
Yeah. Hey man, listen, I'm right
I
there
like
with
to
you.
see my men wrestling big and buff.
Dude, extra meat, please. I agree.
Meat on meat, bro.
Dude, it's the way that the cookie crumbles in pro wrestling. Yeah, it's funny because we were talking about Damien, and it's like,
yeah,
I've been recognizing more and more that the Judgment Day sucks, bro. Like, it's just like there was a point where the Judgment Day, when it had Damien and Rhea, was like super cool to watch.
Yeah.
Now the Judgment Day is like B tier faction.
Not wrong.
You know,
I'm not gonna disagree with you.
I think they really messed that up. I think they should have done some like, and there's still time. Like they could still go back to the way it was, but more than likely it'll never be what it was again.
I think we're not going to see the Judgment Day. I think eventually, like probably within the next, I'd say the year. We'll give the year. It'll fizzle out.
You notice that there has been this trend, and we've both noticed it. Like factions right now are really hot. Like you're either a part of them or you kind of left in the dust for the most part. I mean, Gunther even had a faction for the longest time. I feel like we're starting to get back to a point where factions aren't as hot. And
I agree with you.
It's interesting because a lot of the factions just fail. They can't keep up with like what the Bloodline's doing, or what the Judgment Day was doing for so long.
Right.
And then, it's like, it's weird because they all kind of had the same turmoil, the turmoil within where, somebody breaks apart and goes after a championship or goes after a solo path and whatnot. And it ends up fucking up the entire faction. If you look at what happened with Io Sky and whatever her face is, Bailey, it's the same thing, man. It totally messed up Damage Control. A lot of people love Damage Control, but if you look at Damage Control now, it's like where did it go? It's not really there.
Exactly.
Dude, speaking of Damage Control and Io Sky, I was looking at, this women's War Games match and just what I had saw on I think it was Monday Night Raw.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, it was just interesting because Io Sky comes out as she came out as like the good guy. It was very strange. Like
you're starting to see like a momentum shift on like certain talents that kind of are like middling right now. So
yeah, but it's because that faction, like whatever's going on with Asuka and the other two that I don't really care for.
Yeah, Dakota and
the other one that
Kyrie.
I hate Kyrie. She could leave for all I care. But it's like they are just it didn't work, so they're being shelved. I don't know if they're being shelved and whatnot, but they were a pretty hot commodity. Asuka was a pretty hot commodity, and she was a main eventer for like a decade or close to a decade, and the fact that she's not in this War Games match was kind of shocking to me. I was like, Io Sky over Asuka? It's just showing the change of the tide of the times. I mean, no more Charlotte Flair, no more Becky.
When was the last time she was on air?
I don't know, dude.
Asuka. She's hurt, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I don't know. But she's also that era of NXT that is finally starting to go away.
The Bailey, the Charlotte, the Becky,
the
Asuka.
The Carmella, dude. I saw
Carmella.
A Twitter post, an X post of her and Corey Graves and their baby, and he's like, the baby's like a year old. I don't know if it's a he or she, but the point is that like she looks like a mom. The Alexa Bliss, like they're all gone. It's so strange. So when you see the women's division now, it's like, you got all these newer faces and whatnot, and then you got like Rhea Ripley, who is obviously the main baby face right now on the roster, other than, Bianca Belair and whatnot. So I don't know. I feel like
Asuka had knee surgery, by the way.
Oh, well, good for Asuka. Take some
she had
time
knee
off.
surgery.
Maybe she'll stop wearing the thong inside out, I mean, listen, dude, it's just a bad look. It's not attractive. I'm not getting like a quarter chub watching it, It's like, stop, dude. Wear something else. It's a culture thing, I think. I don't know. My question is like, do the Japanese watch that and do they get a quarter chub?
Brother, the fact that you're thinking about getting like chubs for wrestling is wild.
Hey, no. Listen, no, hold on. There was a time and a place, man, where listen, we've
moved on.
No, we haven't.
We actually have talented. We have talented women in the ring that actually put on.
But what's wrong with the Sables of the world? What's wrong?
I guess they got a place, but that's on skin.
It was in the 1990s.
Yeah, we're past that. We've evolved.
Yeah, it was a cool era, though, dude.
Listen, if you want to get a quarter chub or a chub or whatever, just watch porn like a normal person.
Hey, man. Hey. No, dude. I want to watch
or
my soap
make out
operas.
or make out with your lady. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not saying. Listen, I'm just saying. At the end of the day, like, and I've told my lady this multiple times. I think it's crazy we've moved on to this equality world, where I'm a very centered political person. We're not going to get into politics ever on this podcast, but I will say this: I'm very centered. Okay, and at the same time, though, like, I either want my wrestling women to look like straight up wrestling wrestlers, okay?
Yeah.
Or I want them to look like they belong in Playboy magazine. I don't need like the other ones. You know what I'm saying? Is that too much to ask? But then again, here's the thing, and I'm just going to be honest, dude. I don't need my nipple slips or the guys who shit their pants either.
Yeah.
I need I need the Bam Bam Bigelows who got tattoos on their head. Like, that's what I need,
Yeah.
I need the guys who would inject steroids in their ass every day. Like, that's what I need. Bring back the steroids.
Listen.
Bring them back.
We can talk about it, and we can talk about it, but and this is, it's not going to be. This is an unpopular opinion, and it always will be. The Attitude Era was fucking trash. It was bad.
It was bad to the bone.
It was saved by like 3 people, and that's Stone Cold, The Rock, and Undertaker. Like, that's like.
What about like Deborah? What was her name? Deborah Was it Deborah McMahon? No, Deborah. Puppies. Remember King? Oh, just go puppies.
I remember, and I'm trying to forget. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, what about like Stacy Keibler or?
Listen. We've evolved from the live exhibitionist with Kelly, having the live sex show with Rated R Superstar
that was stupid.
Edge
That's
and
stupid.
Lita.
That's that's the ruthless aggression era. Like, nobody cares.
That wasn't ruthless aggression. That wasn't ruthless aggression. That was okay. Hold on.
It was ruthless aggression, bro.
Was it?
Yeah. That era sucked.
All right. Well, anyway,
bro.
Okay. I will give you that one. But we could have gone without having Val Venus having his dick chopped off.
Well, that was
television.
That was way after Val Venus and Mae Young. I just want to put that out there. Val Venus and Mae Young was a spectacle any kid should see.
You can sit there and you can be like,
you don't want Al Snow to give you a little head. You don't want Al Snow to
like.
Dude,
you bring out the blue meanie too. I mean, like, let's just.
Dude, that's
like,
awesome, dude. I'm so down, bro.
Like, I mean,
dude, the hurricane, the hurricane's coming through.
The hurricane was great. Like, you can sit there and point out like a banger match or a banger storyline, and I will tell you 5 that were absolute shit. Like, like you are for when it comes to the Attitude Era. you have to sift through a bunch of shit before you find a diamond. Like
I don't think so, dude. I think the I Quit
agree.
match, I don't think so. I think the I Quit match between The Rock and Mankind is one of the most hilarious bangers of a match I've ever seen in my entire life. The corporate, do you remember the corporation? The corporate, dude, it was great with the corporate Rock.
I mean, and then you had like and then you had the corporate ministry, and then you had like, they ruined it by making it what it wasn't.
They ruined. Okay, here's what they ruined. They ruined Stone Cold when he became a heel.
Like when he was Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. He was at WrestleMania and he wins the belt from The Rock because Mr. McMahon. Yeah, it's the I believe it's the second time they fight at WrestleMania. They fight 3 times at WrestleMania. I think the first time, I know Stone Cold beats him twice. He beats him the first time and the second time, and then the third time, I believe it was WrestleMania 19. They're not wrestling for the title, and that was Stone Cold's retirement match. But anyway, point is I think there was actually a lot of good moments, dude. I will say that you're right. There were faces like the 3 faces of Foley at the Royal Rumble in, I believe it was 1999, where
was fucking great.
That was hilarious, dude. Where he shows up 3 different times as 3 different characters. It's fucking great, you know.
Mankind, Cactus Jack, Dude Love.
Yeah, or even the special appearances like way back in the day, like we're not talking Donald Trump, we're talking like what was the guy on Whose Line Is It Anyway? Drew Carey, where Drew Carey showed up in the ring at Royal Rumble. Dude, the Royal Rumbles back in the day used to be so good. He popped in the ring for like 2 seconds and then I think like he had a face off with Kane or something like that. Like there was the Attitude Era. Listen, I love Val Venus. I thought Val Venus was one of the funniest fucking characters of all time. He always had the ladies and whatnot. And lo and behold, years later, the dude gets his dick chopped off. I mean, like what a perfect story, right? Or dude, you remember the guy, now we're just going down nostalgia lane. They called him Draws. Do you remember that guy? This guy was Draws. He was in the Attitude Era at the very beginning, and his special ability was to puke. His special ability was to puke. He ends up getting like thrown, like pile drived on his neck or something like that, and then ends up like paralyzed for the rest of his life.
Draws, okay, from the Headbangers.
I think so. Yeah,
he was a part of the Headbangers.
For the like the interim. Like
Mosh. Oh wait,
no, he was the Warriors. Was it the Warriors?
No, it was Mosh, Thrasher, and Draws. Yeah,
dude, that guy was great. It was,
dope.
I mean, dude, and there's like behind the scenes video of like Vince McMahon and Draws is in the office, and he's like, "So you can puke on command, huh?" He's gonna puke. He's gone up, and Vince is like building him up, and then he just fucking pukes in Vince's office, dude. He's like, "Get him a trash can. He's gonna puke." And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, this is the characters that you know this guy came up with. I just think
he's a special man.
Yeah, he is, dude. I'll tell you that. I'm not talking about Draws. I'm talking rest in peace, Draws. By the way, Draws died. I think passed away last year. Sad. But I will say this: I started watching the documentary on Vince, and it is everything you think it would be. It's entertaining as fuck, bro. And I think I'm 3 episodes in, and Vince has never really not been Vince. It's amazing that he made it as far as he did. Like, I mean, we all knew. I mean, dude, he literally was like kind of sexually assaulting women on television. Yeah. And we kind of just like fucking were like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're like, oh, Trish Stratus is just
not a good person.
What? Yeah, dude. And we just kind of dealt with it for years, man. He was just the ultimate bad guy, you know?
A real
like
scumbag.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean, and this is why I love wrestling, because me and you can sit here and we can talk about we can go from current bloodline situation where inevitably we all know the outcome, and we can get to that here in a minute. We can talk about the 4 matches that we know about, but you know, we can talk about that, or we could go down the fucking rabbit hole and talk about that one time in WCW when they had a show called Thursday Night Thunder with fucking the Big Show. You know, I mean, you could literally talk about anything and it's entertaining as fuck, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you're wrong for saying the Attitude Era was not entertaining. I think it was some of the best entertainment.
I didn't say that.
What
I
did
didn't
you say?
It wasn't entertaining. I said it was bad.
Well, okay, so then what is okay? so
oh, what's that?
Well, so what's good to you? Like, what's a good era of wrestling?
I think right now is probably the best era.
Okay, outside of right now.
Outside of right now,
honestly,
probably I would say prior to the Attitude Era. Like, if you're looking for where you still had storylines, you still had, you know, but you also had really good wrestling.
All right, so are you talking about, because prior to the Attitude Era, I just learned this in the documentary, by the way, in 1993, 1994, 1995, that was like the Bret Hart, kind of the end of Bret Hart situation with the WWE.
Yeah, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, great rivalry.
They state that the numbers were the lowest they've ever been.
That's fine. Like, that's, I mean, of course you're going to have good ratings. You want to know why? Because you got people having sex on TV and you got girls showing their puppies. Of course they're going to have good ratings.
Dude, I'm telling you, it was great television. It was great. Dude,
like,
listen,
it was bad television, but it was entertaining. It's like, it's for the same reason you watch
You're telling me that
Springer, or you're watching Maury or whatever. You're watching it because it's fucking a train wreck and you can't look away.
No.
Yeah.
No, because the Undertaker was, there was like this aura around the Undertaker ever since he started, right, in 1990. But the thing is his character didn't really develop and become super interesting till like 1998, where literally, you know, he had a brother and his dad was Paul Bearer. And there was all this talk about Kane. And I will say in 1997 to 1998, that period during the Attitude Era, where, you know, it's brother Kane is coming back for revenge and what he was owed to him and all this shit, made the Undertaker more personable and made the Undertaker story the best it ever was. And I will say that Kane's appearance, when Kane came, well, it was at Bad Blood, right? It was at Bad Blood where his first appearance, where they were it was Shawn Michaels and the Undertaker in a cage, it's still Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And Kane comes out and he rips the fucking cage door, like the cage off the cage.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that.
That is and it's like, who is this person? Is he really burned? At that point, I'm fucking 8 years old, you know? So to me, I'm like jaw dropped. I mean,
listen, I get it. I understand. There were really good parts of the Attitude Era.
But then,
I think okay, go ahead.
Okay. No, I'm glad you said that because I'm thinking, like, it's not just the Attitude Era. If you I include WCW in the Attitude Era as well, because like there's a big portion
of Monday Night Wars
that was happening across the pond or across the networks that literally was just as entertaining. And it would go live an hour earlier and they would literally spoil what was going on in the WWE because WWE was taped. So you would literally watch Monday Nitro, and they were on an hour earlier, and they tell you what had already transpired because they'd leak it out. I don't know, dude. To me, that is like, you don't have that with AEW currently. You know, you don't. I don't know if you'll ever see that again. And then what's crazy is like, imagine if there was an alternative football league or an alternative baseball league that was just as entertaining as the MLB or NFL. It's just not, it just doesn't happen. So I don't know. I include it in that. Maybe that's a little unfair and a little, but there's never a generation. I mean, I guess you could say that when there was territories, you had like Jerry the King Lawler in Memphis. He had his territory, which was super popular. Then you had the WWF. You know, you had like you had the NWA.
Yeah.
Maybe then it was interesting. And I've seen points like in the late 80s where you're talking, you know, Hulk Hogan, WrestleMania, like those storylines, like the first ever WrestleMania was like a complete spectacle. And they had, you know, Mr. T and a few other celebrities there. You know, you could say that, like, I could see an argument for that. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would like to. I think we need to have an episode where we just.
I think this is
that.
it.
I mean, I'm not prepared. Like, I would like to prepare and like have a more structured conversation about it instead of
just
like
go through it.
Thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we could talk about like, you know,
each era.
We could talk about like major highlights of each era, and then kind of like the viewers, you know, viewpoint on what do they think is the best one. I don't
gotcha.
I
like that.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah,
it's a good idea, man. You got some good.
I can get some good ideas.
You're a good thinker. You know,
I try to, man. I'm out here trying.
Yeah.
Do we want to recap on the Crown of Jewel?
I'm gonna just say that. I mean, not really. I mean, okay. I'll say this. I thought the titles were a complete and utter like shit show of a hoax. Like, I mean, it was like, you know, at first I'm like, oh man, this could kind of be cool. You know, they'll have this other title and, you know, they're the only ones that can wear it. But then obviously the more you look into it, it's like, well, that doesn't make sense because if they drop the belt, then what? They're still carrying this title. And so then you find out that like, oh wait, they get the belt in that moment and then it's going to go into a display room and it's never going to leave there. Oh, and you did a ring. You did a ring. Like
you get a ring and you get a ring and you get a
it's all just like big spectacle. That's all it is, you know? And so Crown Jewel is once again, in my eyes, done exactly what it's done forever. It's never been great. I would say that probably, I mean, Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, great match. There was some great matches on that card. Nothing that blew my mind.
Yeah.
What about you?
I agree. Nothing. I mean, I'm like looking it over here. I mean, the Bloodline match was whatever. I mean, it is what it is.
I heard the referee fucked up or something along those lines.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
I watched it and then I just didn't give a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
To be honest. The Fatal 4-Way, I mean, whatever. I will say Meta-4 is a really intriguing team.
Yeah.
That's Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
Lash Legend is very comparable to Bianca Belair, and I'm not Bianca Belair, but Jade Cargill.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually look forward to, you know, Jade and Lash going at it and just kind of leaving Bianca behind because I think she's boring. Like she's just boring.
I think the unfortunate side of things, but I've said this before, I didn't know how Bianca and Jade were going to clash and it was going to work out because I feel like they're so similar. And the more I'm seeing that there's even more people coming up that are very similar in physique and stature and everything else. I may be completely wrong, but the money that they put into Bianca and Jade, man, I just don't see another spot where you're filling. I mean, it's almost like cookie cutter of Jade in my eyes. Like you were saying, like you've seen them go toe to toe kind of a thing. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, because I like being wrong. I don't like always being right, or
Yeah.
I'm actually never
I mean,
right.
I'm the one that's always right. I don't know what you're talking about, but
Exactly.
whatever.
No, exactly. I just I think they're very similar. Like, and
Yeah.
that's kind of what I got from that match. Was I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, are they going to blend in, or are they going to be top stars?
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It depends on booking, really.
Yeah. What did you think of
Can
the
they give
match,
them-
though? Did you think the match
The
was
match
good?
was good. The
Yeah.
match was really good. I do think Lash Legend really stood out.
Yeah.
I think, like, as far as like tag teams go, they should be like instant contenders.
100%.
They're
100%.
better than Kairi Sane
Yeah.
and Io Sky. So I don't know. Like, I think the women's tag division's good. They're set for a bit. They just need to make sure that they're keeping it like interesting in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I mean, it was a good match. And then we had actually, this was probably my favorite match of the night, and that was Seth versus Bronson. I just thought it was a good match. I mean, we knew it was just going to be a beatdown, but it was a good solid match, and that one was most entertaining for me.
Okay.
So, but other than that, like, did you like the Seth versus Bronson match?
I'm kind of at a, I don't care.
Okay, that's fair. I mean,
the match, Seth always puts on a great performance, and I think, I mean, they've said it for a while, for about like a year now, that they are trying to push Bronson Reed forward. I know there was some, as far back as the Elimination Chamber, I know there was some setbacks. He had like a child or something. There was a point where he was supposed to be, I think, in the Elimination Chamber, and he wasn't able to be. Like, they've been trying to push him as they've straight up said it, like the new Bam Bam Bigelow. That was their whole thing.
He's so good though. I love
he
him.
is, and he's, dude, I can't believe a man at that size can do what he's doing. Like, it's pretty incredible.
Oh yeah.
Typically their like their lifespan in pro wrestling.
I mean, Ivar. Look at Ivar, dude.
I know. It's just a different species, man. But as we were
also, I'm super pumped that they're getting like fucking the escalator.
Yeah.
Because Eric is really good, and so is Ivar, and having the fucking what are they're the War Raiders now?
Yeah. Thank God, dude.
Because that Viking Raiders thing was
so
dumb.
lame.
That it's a throwback to what they were in Ring of Honor.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I think that the men's tag division has always been strong. And, the tag team titles are always like, the Bloodline has one pair, right? And then who's got the other pair right now? Exactly. I can't remember either.
The Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah. Which is crazy. That was a crazy.
We didn't even like.
That was on
shit.
That was on SmackDown, I think. It was.
Yeah.
And that was like a week or two after or before the last pay-per-view.
Well, they had been hinting at it for like a week.
Well, and that's the other thing. So they have so many titles now that they're doing some of them prior and after these main PLEs. But when you're talking about these matches, I had a thought that clicked in my head, and I didn't read into this at all. But I just scrolled through and I was like, meh. But I was thinking about it because I was thinking about the matches that you're talking about, and there was breaking news, and this was November 8th, so this was relatively recent. Nick Aldis announced a new women's title, the WWE Women's United States Championship, and I believe, from what I gather, it looks like it may happen at WrestleMania 41.
Yeah, I know that they're going through tournaments right now.
I thought I saw something about WrestleMania 41. I don't know. How do you feel about another title, and not just another title, but the women's US championship, it literally looks the same. The only difference is it's a white strap. That's the only difference.
Yeah.
How do you feel about it?
It's whatever. I mean, they have a huge roster, and they've been hinting at it. I mean, they have another belt that they're going to be unveiling. I don't know if they already did that yet. But they have another belt that they're going to be dropping too.
What's that?
I don't know. It'll be on the men's side though.
Oh, okay. I think they need it because, like we've talked about, they have this massive roster of talent and not enough people to shine, right? I mean, you have like LA Knight, who's carrying the US championship. He's doing a great job with it. Who's got the Intercontinental right now? Why don't I know this off the top of my head? It's Braun. Oh my God, Braun Breaker.
Yeah, Braun Breaker got it back.
Yeah, I can't believe I just had a brain fart with that.
That's all right, man. It's a fucking
it's been
Tuesday.
Well, and there's been a lot. For those who are watching this, you know, we took a little bit of time and we're back, and we're just covering everything kind of spontaneously. Normally there's like structure to this.
Yeah, with a little structure. We decided to fly off the.
Kyle goes, you're recording, right? And I was like, well,
yeah, we just gotta go.
Let's just fucking start, dude.
Yeah, I think it worked out. It was fun to just rip into it. And
dude. I mean,
all that jazz. So.
Normally you have an issue with me going off. You know, off the tracks, but listen, when there are no fucking tracks, you can't
go off. We're good, man.
Exactly, dude.
Set.
We're four-wheeling right now, bro.
Hell yeah, bro.
Dude, we're what do they call it? Mud bogging? Is that the yeah, dude? That's what
I don't know. That might be a fucking thing. I don't know.
I'm a California kid, so
we
don't mud.
I mean, yeah, here. And so there was that. There was the women's like crown jewel match. I don't give a fuck,
bro. I mean. Listen, the one thing I will say is, did you think that Tiffany Stratton was going to cash in? Because I truly did. I was
hoping so.
I mean, it was 2 titles right there, 2 titles. You know,
boom.
It looked like it was going to happen, and then nope.
Oh well.
Yeah.
So I think that's an L for the WWE. LA Knight versus Andrade versus Carmelo. That was a good match. Whatever. I mean, LA Knight retained. So
it's weird. I feel like I say, he's doing a good job. He's had this Andrade feud for like a while now, and I think
they just keep shoving it, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Because they made LA Knight go up against, I don't know, Humberto or whatever for El Gato del Fa and Tasma.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I feel like SmackDown's kind of getting the short end of the stick. You know, you got this massive push with Netflix and Monday Night Raw, and it just feels like SmackDown's kind of like, hey, we're on USA again. You know, it's kind of like, I don't know. Was that the entire card? That was the entire card.
And then Cody Rhodes versus Gunther.
That was probably the best match. I mean,
it was a good match.
Yeah, I think like wrestling wise, best match. 100%.
Yeah, it was a good match.
But I mean, it was inevitable that Cody was going to win that match. Like, I don't think that I think you had a better chance of Nia winning over Liv than you did with Gunther beating Cody. Because Cody he cannot do anything wrong right now.
Oh,
and in my eyes, he's the golden child, which is great. I think they put a lot of money behind him, and he's got the image. But man, you gotta admit, dude, his run has been very lackluster, dude. Yeah. I mean, if he is fighting Kevin Owens at Survivor Series, what are we doing? Like, he's. Like, at least Roman on the last like year and a half, like, people can, you know, discredit Roman for not showing up and being part-time and whatnot, but it's like he didn't fight anybody more than once. Like, he just went through a roster of people and just kept going at it, and it was entertaining. Like, I mean, we saw Cody fight Kevin Owens like 2 months ago. Yeah. You know, and the same thing happened with AJ for. Oh, and dude, what happened with AJ? He like returned to not return.
Poof.
What the hell's going on in wrestling, dude?
Poof.
Yeah. All right, let's
Yeah,
talk.
but
Let's talk
as
about these 4 matches. Yeah, that was the end of fucking the crown jewel spectacle that is all spectacles, which will never be WrestleMania, even though they want it to be a big 4 event. They got to do something different. They keep changing it every year. I think okay, before we get off this subject, name your favorite ever crown jewel match.
I can't tell you a single one.
What? I can name 3. 2 that are absolutely terrible and 1 that I actually enjoyed.
Tell me.
Goldberg versus The Undertaker.
Okay.
Goldberg concussed himself. Supposedly he hit his head in the locker room before he even made it out. Concussed himself. Then went for a spear, concussed himself again, and could not perform. Okay. That was, and I remember it because it was at 10 in the morning on like a Wednesday or something like that, right?
Wow.
Then you had Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez, which is a rematch from their UFC days, where Cain Velasquez knocked out Brock Lesnar in the first round, and gave Brock Lesnar a massive like 3-inch scar underneath his on his cheek. And it's still there to this day. Whereas at Crown Jewel, Brock Lesnar was able to beat a non-wrestling Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez came out in luchador gear, and it was a shit show of a match. Brock Lesnar took him to Suplex City and fucking just it was a total squash. It was totally like, hey, you fucked me over in the UFC. Watch this. This is my ring, you know. And then the best match I think I've ever seen at Crown Jewel was Logan Paul versus Roman Reigns. Yeah, that epic Superman punch. It was a good time. At least I think so. Other than that, Crown Jewel is a shit show. Every year there's some new fucking term to it, and they don't know what they're doing. Okay. Let's wrap this up. Let's get to the 4 matches that we got to talk about. Even though we've been talking about them, give our predictions and get out of here.
All right.
Go for it.
Oh shit. Did I post those? Hold on. No, that was that. Hold on. Because I think there's only a couple confirmed for Bad Blood. Or not Bad Blood, Survivor Series.
One of the many PLEs.
Jeez, I can't get them. I can't keep them all straight. All right, here we go. We got 3.
3 confirmed.
3 confirmed at this particular moment. So we can start about the men's War Games match.
All
so
right.
as of right now, we have Roman Reigns, the Usos, Sami Zayn, and a TBA.
Mm-hmm.
All right, versus the Bloodline, Solo, Jacob Fatu, Tama, and Tonga Loa. And Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed. So I think we both have a pretty firm agreement, and we both think it's probably going to be Seth Rollins that fills that TBA spot for the OGs.
I'll say this.
Hit me with yours.
On SmackDown last week, Roman made a phone call to the Wise Man, and the Wise Man's number was disconnected, and no longer in service. He did not call Seth. Seth has said he didn't want anything to do with Roman. However, at the end of Raw, from my understanding, it was Bronson versus Seth. Bronson wins because of the bloodline, or the new bloodline. So it only makes sense for Seth. I would love if they did anything different, personally.
I just thought of a grind ending.
Yeah. Oh,
I
here we
just
go.
thought of a grind. Here we go. All right. So Roman gets a hold of the Wise Man.
Mm-hmm.
He finally gets a hold of him, and he we have a predicament. We don't have a 5th person.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what association do you have with Paul Heyman?
Brock Lesnar.
And Brock Lesnar helps them
Dude,
beat the Bloodline.
that would be amazing. That would be like, dude, I would stand up and do a dance, and it would be It would be amazing. That's what needs to happen. I will take that ending tenfold, bro. That would be crazy,
did
right?
that crush your mind grind?
Yeah, it did. It did actually cross my mind. I see it as very far-fetched, but I do find it interesting that, like, the reason I brought up the Paul Heyman thing was because it didn't seem like it seems like they're throwing out the narrative of Seth Rollins. They keep kind of pushing at it, but then it was interesting because Roman called Paul Heyman, and he didn't go to Seth. He hasn't gone to Seth at all. So I don't know if it's like if they're using that to just kind of confuse everybody. But what if you're right? What if Roman Reigns calls Brock Lesnar instead of calling to get a hold of Paul? I mean, who knows? I think either way, if you say we have Seth or whoever fills that fifth spot, it'll be entertaining. Sami Zayn and the Usos alone are just great, man.
Time out.
Yeah.
You know who we haven't seen in a few weeks?
Who?
CM Punk.
Very true.
And hey, he's a Heyman guy.
He is. That'd be interesting. I mean,
CM
I'll take that, dude. Yeah, that's the other thing. When CM Punk left, he made it sound like he wasn't like returning. He was like, I'm taking a hiatus, and I'm like, dude, you're under contract. Like, you'll be back. You know what I'm saying?
Shut up, idiot. You
So,
can't fool us.
No, exactly. So I would take anything, pretty much any. I'll take Seth Rollins if that's what we got to do. It's okay.
It's a safe bet. It's a safe move.
But if you want to like wow everyone, you do something crazy.
Like CM Punk or Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, that'd be great. I mean, that'd be fun. It'd be fucking fun, man.
Sure.
Bronson Reed is just such a like, and you know what's weird is, so they're all Samoan, and he is New Zealand. He's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So, is he Samoan?
No.
What?
No, it's a completely different. I mean, it's an island culture, but
don't they all do the same war dance thing?
No.
They do the whole dance. The New Zealanders do with the face, the tongue out, and the
hold on. Native. What are they called? They are the Maori people, right? And they have they also do a haka, but I mean I think that's but Maori is different than Samoan.
Wait, hold on. Okay. Samoans are the original inhabitants of Samoa Island, which lies north of New Zealand.
Yeah, they're Polynesian, dude. Like that's
Samoan New Zealanders.
Yeah, like it's a thing. Like Maori and Samoans are both Polynesian languages. So
the thing is, at the end of the day, he's not a fucking part of the bloodline.
Okay, yes, okay, we get it, but let's avoid that tangent. Like, who cares?
I care.
Who cares?
I care. This is the same guy who's
you wanted your guy, and he didn't get the tap, and it's fine. It's gonna be okay.
I hope so, dude.
We still have a long road to WrestleMania. Okay,
so out of that match, what do you think happens? Like, now we say we got them, so just count the people we know who's in it right now. What happens? What is the outcome of that match?
Honestly, I don't know. This one's got me kind of thrown for a loop, because right now the way that it stands is you have the score is 0 OGs, 1 new bloodline, right?
Yep.
So my logic tells me Roman Reigns, Usos, Sami Zayn, TBA pull off the win, right? And that gives a 1-1, right? And then of course you have your rubber match, which is so WWE.
Mm-hmm.
Like you gotta have your threes, right? You gotta have the one, then you have the other, and then you have the winner take all. Like that's just how it is, fucking clear and cut. So logic and numbers tell me Roman Reigns, Uso, Sami Zayn, and TBA.
Okay. So it looks like the next event would be December 14th, Saturday night's main event. They're bringing that back. here's what I'm thinking. I think you're right. I think we get this is not the end. This is not the end. This is the chance for Roman to be recrowned the tribal chief with the what is it? Umafala?
The Umafala
Umafala?
or something like that. I don't know.
I believe he regains it, and then we have the one-on-one match one more time between Solo and Roman to see who kneels and becomes tribal chief, officially. I think that happens. I think that makes the most sense. I would say it happens before Royal Rumble, only because I think you're getting Cody versus Roman 3 at WrestleMania. I don't know how. I also think that The Rock is going to play some pivotal role in it. I'm not exactly sure.
I hope not. I hope they abandon it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Well, I mean, you saw The Rock appear at whatever PLE that was at the end.
And he came out with that dumb fucking
title. Oh my god, dude, yeah. The People's Champ. So, it's in Vegas this year. I'm hoping to go. And I mean, I would love to see The Rock, one final time. I don't know how you top last year. I really don't, but I feel like the way they wrote last year is to include this year. And The Rock had said all along, like, I'm the long game champ. He had said that at prior to last year's WrestleMania. So we will see how it all plays out. I'm assuming this storyline, though, wraps up. The question is, to me, when it comes to the bloodline, when that story wraps up and everybody's on the same page, bro, do you have that whole bloodline stay together, or do those guys get literally like banned and shunned? Because inevitably they're family, but when you hear Jay talk about them, like Jay and Jimmy talk about them, they're like, we stay away from those guys. Those guys are bad. Like, did you hear that?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, like we don't fucking fuck with those guys, kind of a thing.
Right.
But inevitably they're like all real family, which is kind of you would think that.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see, like you said.
I'm just hoping they all stay together because I think it would be the dopest faction of its size, and we haven't seen a big faction like that since the NWO. So I would love it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you have the women's War Games match. Which, I mean, you got Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton. Who's the other two? Chelsea Green?
No. Candice LeRae.
And who else?
Okay, so it's Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair.
That's the other team.
Jade, Naomi, and Io.
Yep.
Versus Judgment Day, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez.
That's who I was missing.
Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae.
Gotcha. Yeah, I don't know, man. This makes sense for the good guys once again. It would be, I mean, but you could see the bad guys winning this one too. I think at the end of the day, the bad guys hold both the belts. It would be kind of, what does that say if the bad guys lose?
Yeah. I just don't care about this one. Like, I just want to see a good match.
I'm normally the one who's like, this is the bathroom break, because it's
like, I just like, and that's not for a lack of caring. It's just like, I don't care who wins. Like, I just want to see a good match, who comes out on top. Like, that's it. Like, that's what I mean by that. Like,
there's really nothing
chauvinist. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey. Hey.
But yeah, no, you know what I'm saying. And I just want to see a good match. I don't care who holds the title. I don't care who wins in this instance. I just want to see a good match.
Well, thanks for the great prediction, dude. Listen, you just fucking stay middle of the,
On this one, I am sorry.
I think it would really hurt the women's division if their champions lose. It's one thing if there's one on either side. You got both. I mean, you got the tag team champions on the babyface side, and then on the heel side, you got both the title champions, the main champions. So I think you got Liv and Nia Jax's team winning. inevitably. They also have Miss Money in the Bank. I feel like
Yeah.
you can't lose. So,
Yeah.
and not just that, but I think we're setting up for Liv Morgan, Rhea Ripley, WrestleMania 41.
Sure.
I mean, if the next big event isn't till February, they always do this in January because January is day one. We're gonna have the stupid draft coming up. Oh, wait for that episode. Just wait for that episode. Whoever's listening to this, because that episode's gonna fucking suck. You know, I'm sure we'll have our fun. We'll have some really fun takes, but inevitably the draft has always been a complete shit show. It's never gotten better. It's just gotten weirder every year. And so in January, we will have pretty much nothing to, I'm sure there'll be something to talk about, but we'll just be shitting on the draft the entire time. And then in February, we have the Royal Rumble. So we don't really have a big PLE after Survivor Series for a minute.
Yeah.
The Saturday night's main event is kind of a weird one because
I get it.
I don't know. I mean,
Whatever.
So
Whatever.
Yeah, we got the OG Bloodline winning their War Games match. We got the women, the champions, Liv Morgan, Nia Jax's team winning that match.
Yeah.
That War Game match. And then what's the third confirmed match?
Gunther versus Damian Priest.
We kind of touched on this already.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think.
I mean, I'll go because I'll just be
go for
it. I think Gunther wins.
Has to be that way.
It's got to be. So,
I mean,
that makes the most sense.
I think in order to put Damian away in the feud, like the little feud that they have, into maybe course correct Damian has to lose this match. So, where does he go from here? Who knows? Don't really care at the moment. Gunther needs to move on to bigger and better things, especially as a heavyweight champion. And I truly think that both Cody and Gunther are going to bring those titles into Mania.
I think so too.
I'd be shocked to see anything else. So,
yeah.
All right, that wraps it up, man. That is your Survivor Series War Games predictions. And with that being said, that wraps up another episode of the Lower Mid Card Podcast. Have a good one.
See you.